Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So just when you thought it was safe to delve back into the hobby waters, once again we praise the content gods for another one. So this one's kind of a short one in terms of the amount of information that's out there. It literally just broke not long ago, minutes ago in a lot of these cases. But I'll go through a couple of these things, we'll talk about it really high level, and then we'll save any follow-ups if there's any other major developments in it. But it is a big story in the middle of the Fanatics and Panini war going on, that this is a major move as far as that's concerned, and it moves the timetable up on a lot of things. So I've got two different sources here that both talk about the exact same thing that come off of this Dear Contract Advisor email. So from Ari Mirov and then also Darren Rovell. So I'll use the Darren Rovell one here, but they're basically the same information. I'll include both links to both in the description for you, and you can check them out. They're effectively the same thing. So from the Darren Rovell one, it says, breaking, the NHLPA has terminated its relationship with Panini effective immediately in a letter sent this afternoon to agents. Fanatics is in 3 years early. Panini cannot produce any NFL cards with players' names or likenesses. Now, I'll read you a bit of this here directly, and I'll zoom in on it. Dear Contract Advisor, NFL Players Incorporated has terminated its trading card agreement with Panini. Effective immediately, Fanatics has the exclusive right to make NFLPA branded trading cards. This decision has no impact on any individual players' contractual agreements with Panini. If you represent any players with an existing Panini agreement, the NFLPA recommends that you encourage the players to fulfill his contractual commitments to Panini. If you have any questions, please contact Sophie, who will probably be one of the most popular people as people are asking questions about the ramifications of this one. Now, a big part of this is that this represents the NFL Players Association. It doesn't include the NFL as far as we're aware of, but it's a big shoe to drop as far as the progression of this entire thing, because it suddenly puts Panini on their back foot as far as the NFL is concerned, because without the NFLPA, you can't produce cards with the player's name and likenesses. That kind of terminates a lot of the potential products that Panini could come out with as far as the NFL is concerned, unless they go into the, murky waters that Leaf talks about as far as creating cards with individual player agreements and then trying to get around it that way. But it's one of those things where the suddenness of it, we come into it and things have been kind of moving forward. We had the lawsuits and everything that we talked about. And then suddenly on Monday, here we go. We've got another shoe to drop here directly from the NFLPA talking about it to the player agents. So it's a big kind of a move as far as that's concerned. And the suddenness of it kind of plays into this. Now things are starting to escalate it quickly. Now, the next question that is valid that I think we're going to have to figure out here over the next coming days is going to be what impact, if any, that's going to have in any terms of any sets that were already in the pipeline. Stuff that's already been printed, stuff that's about to be released imminently, or stuff that's on the verge of being released. Does any of that get impacted, or does that get included under what was already previously there in the licensing agreement? Because the cards had already presumably been selected and printed or designed or whatever the case may be. Like, what's the actual cutoff as far as their Panini's ability to actually be able to release any products that they were already well on their way to releasing? And that's kind of an open question that leaves things in a bit of murky water as far as the NFL card releases. As we're basically starting to approach the season, we're still in the middle of the preseason games, but we're rapidly approaching the start of the NFL season, and now this comes down immediately. It sends quite a shockwave down that side of things. And it'll be interesting to see how Panini responds, at least publicly at first, and then as far as how they respond in terms of what they're going to do with any potential sets that they were planning on releasing coming into the NFL season. So we'll leave it at that for now because that is high level. But high level, the NFLPA announced to its various player agents that they have terminated the agreement with Panini for trading card licenses. This doesn't talk about the NFL themselves, so we'll have to see if that's a secondary shoe to drop as far as that's concerned. But this is a big part of the two licenses that go into the whole NFL releases, the same as the other leagues as well. So we'll leave it at that. If you've been kind of keeping an eye on this or at least paying attention to it, I'm curious if you have any thoughts. Does this mean that we now get some Topps football coming? There was already obviously a lot of steps towards getting Topps football out, but now at least as far as the NFLPA is concerned, Topps football is kind of open season to go forward. Now it'll be interesting to see what they do as far as the NFL portion of it with the team logos and team nicknames. But the NFLPA portion of it being ready to go allows basically Topps to produce some cards with players' name and likenesses. We'll leave it at that for now. More videos coming up on the channel. Live streams at Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm sure now we'll have this to talk about and any other shoe to drop between now and Friday. With that said, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much, and we'll catch you in the next one.